Hello, and welcome to an all-new Unbiased gear review. Today we are taking a look at this. This is the new prototype Merciless Drive from Airis Effects. Okay guys, so this is the brand new Merciless Drive from Airis Effects. These are about to come out, honestly, any day now from what Richard has told me. And as you can probably guess, judging from the fact that it's a black pedal with orange knobs and they're all cranked to 10, this thing is modeled after one of my favorite tones of all time, the Swedish buzzsaw itself, the Boss HM2. Now, I've played a lot of different clones out there. Some have been really true to the tone. Some have veered off on the left-hand path a little bit more. Some have been not even close. So where does this sit with all the other pedals that I've played, or for that matter, in relation to an actual Boss HM2? This holds a very nice place right next to the HM2. I've A-B'd this thing all day. I've twisted the knobs and, in all sorts of different permutations, and they're all kind of responding in a very similar fashion. You turn the high up and you turn the high down, and it responds extremely similar to the high control on a actual Boss HM2, that which I have right here for the purposes of comparison. Now, before I get into the actual demonstration of this pedal, I will let you know that currently, as of right now, Richard is taking pre-orders for the Merciless Drive on the Airis Effects website. It is going for $169. And so if you're interested at all in what this pedal can do for you, I would urge you to go to that website and check it out. But now, let's get into the actual pedal demo. So first of all, let me go over the gear that I am using for the purposes of this review. I am using my Ormsby SX GTR, which has an Alnico 8 based pickup in it, into my pedal board, which has a Morley wah, which will not be engaged, into the Merciless Distortion pedal, and then finally into an ISP decimator noise gate, which is very slightly on. It is not kicked on all that much for reasons. From there, the signal is going into my Kemper, where I have loaded a clean profile of a Marshall JCM 900. I have turned up the gain ever so slightly to about maybe 8 o'clock on the profile. And then from there, it is running into my Pro Tools rig. So for starters, let me show you what the clean tone is. Just a very, very, very slight bit of breakup on there. And now let's kick on this pedal in full-on Swedish buzzsaw mode. We are starting off with every control dimed. As I was mentioning earlier, this right here is the distortion knob, and where it's at right now, almost down to the bottom. Barely any breakup whatsoever, but when you just kick it up ever so slightly, this control right here is the level control. Highs. Behaves extremely similarly to that high control on the HM2. Once you're at about this point, that's kind of where right before the super gnarly treble breakup happens. And then moving on to the low control. Pretty fucking rad. And what else is super cool is, as you can see, the decimator is not really up that high. So I have it right up to about like just over the minus 50 dB mark. And as you can hear, This is actually one of the quietest HM2 style pedals I've ever played. So it's behaving extremely similarly to an HM2, but without all that extra hum and background noise that you typically get from that pedal. How cool is that? So since I know you guys are going to be asking me this anyway, let's just do a really quick side-by-side A-B comparison so that you can see how these two stack up to each other. So we've got the Boss HM2 on the right, we've got the Airis Merciless drive on the left. Nothing else has changed about the signal path. Still with the clean Marshall JCM 900 profile with just a little bit of breakup. Let's start in with the OG. So as you can hear, there is a very, very slight tonal difference between the two when all the knobs are dimed. So the Merciless drive to me sounds like there's just a little bit extra mid-range push, and that is just causing the low end to kind of slightly tighten up. Now let's see how the knobs compare. We're starting off with the Merciless drive. Okay, so my final verdict is as follows. I think that this is an absolutely fantastic pedal. That being said, it just barely doesn't quite capture what the original real deal is doing. So the Boss HM2 heavy metal pedal is kind of a hallowed pedal. So anytime anyone tries to make a clone of it or a replica of it, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny. I think when you've got the classic HM2 tone dialed into both the original and the new one, the Merciless Drive from Airis, I feel like the differences are subtle at best. I feel like the low end is a little bit tighter on this. I feel like there's a slight push in the upper mids. And I also feel like this one is significantly less noisy. It's a little bit more hi-fi sounding. Whereas with this one, the low end is looser. And also being that it is what it is, it's the old school HM2, it is noisy. You do have to have a gate on and just be hoping to fucking God that you're not blowing out the front of your amp with this. Final word on that. If the Boss HM2, the real deal, is a 10 out of 10, this is a very close 9.8 as far as the dimed tone goes. Where you start to see a lot more differences is when you start actually tweaking the knobs on the pedal. Now, you might be saying to yourself, but dude, the classic tone is with everything dimed. Who's going to be tweaking this thing? You never know. Someone might be messing with it a little bit, maybe be trying to find like a particular sweet spot that no one's ever thought of before. Is it a goddamn solid pedal though? Absolutely. I do love this little box. I think it sounds pretty goddamn awesome. So Arnold, what are you drinking today? I am so glad you asked. Today I am going to have from Evil Twin Brewing Company, one of my favorite breweries. I am going to have Some People Are Immune to Good Advice Maple Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout. So I am very, very excited to try. This is a 10.7% alcohol by volume imperial stout. Like it said, barrel aged. This is one of my favorite breweries for barrel aged and also for various flavor infusions. You can definitely smell a bit of sugary sweetness. Smells like molasses a little bit. Ooh. Boozy, thick, rich. Definitely very sweet. A little smoky, a little malty. You can definitely taste the booze. You can definitely taste that maple syrup that's in there. It is not bad at all. I would say this would be a fantastic dessert beer. Like, finish a big meal and have yourself an ice cream sundae and then have this right next to it. So with that, that's all I've got. If you dig the gear I was checking out, if you dig the band that's on my shirt, and if you dig the beer that I had today, please check them out in the description below. You'll find the links to all three. Find me all over the internet these days. I'm on Patreon. I'm still on Facebook. I'm on Twitch now, playing video games, trying desperately not to suck at PUBG. Instagram is another one. I'm on Instagram constantly now. Hit me up, see what I'm up to. Stay tuned for more videos to come.